So if I was going to make, this is the apprentices, but you're only seeing me because the speaker view. So you don't see the 5 apprentices that are on. Prophet, TK, Studio Simba, Cygnus, and Anbu. I remember my dad put me on chores, $1 here, $2 there, empty the trash every night, the weekly trash, put it out, doing the dishes, fucking whatever the fuck, so yard work. You know, I eventually worked my way up to $10 an hour, or $10. I don't know if it was an hour. I think it was $10. It was at some point $10 an hour, like yard work, when I had lots of yard work to do. So 4.5 hours earned me $45. Fucking pitchforking mulch and shit, and you know, whacking down trails. Mowing the lawn was like a flat rate or whatever. But that was like when I was 14, 15, 16. By the time I was 16, I was earning 10 an hour. But then by that point, then I got a job at the gun range. It's called a trap range, which also has a ghetto talk for drug dealing, but it was a trap range throwing out these clay discs that you shoot with a shotgun. And I would sit in there and load it with discuses. So I'm underground in this bunker loading these fucking clay pigeons on this machine that's and throwing these, and people over my head are shooting shotguns at these clay pigeons, but I'm in a bunker. And then it's done, and then I crawl out. I didn't earn much there. I earned a lot of money there, but not much per hour. It was like $7 an hour or something at the time. I don't remember. And I was mowing lawns on the side, but I was also wrestling and everything. Like, it was just what I did with all my time. And, you know, then I went to university. Now this is where it got easy, because I got school loans, and I wasted a lot of school loan money at the casinos. And, but I also invested in getting weed. And so then I would sell weed just to break even. And eventually I ended up selling $1 million of weed. That also, I was at the peak paying my bills with it, paying my rent with it, and having just enough to smoke. I wasn't making any. Then maybe because of the cash flow, I could spend extravagantly. So I might buy a hotel room with the girl for like 2 nights or something. I remember doing that once or twice. I only had a girlfriend like for a short period through all that. So I definitely was wasteful with money, but man, did I hustle. I was the best because I had the best connect, and I was the best communicator, and so ethical, and, you know, sharp. All these other drug dealers were fucking drug dealers. I was like a Division I wrestler, scholar, you know, selling weed to get by on my own habits or whatever. Occasionally sold some other things, but really it was weed. And then I would earn, eventually I worked my way up through education. Now, yeah, white America I was 273 out of 273 out of like 360. That was my rank in my class graduating in high school. 270 out of like 370. So you figure that out. 1340 SAT, very high on math, not very high on English, and never read a book yet at that point. And no, I'd opened a book, but I just never read a book, like the whole book. And, you know, I don't know how much white privilege there is in that, but I guess I got into Oklahoma University, which is like an 88% acceptance rate or something. So it's not like the most scholar university, but they had good geology and good engineering and stuff. And that's where I got you know, masters, and I was getting loans. There's the white privilege, the fucking parents that were responsible their whole life and lived a very straight edge, regular ass life and paid all their bills and fucking worked their ass off for 20 years, white privilege ass motherfuckers. And then, so with those loans, like I did what I did. By the time I was getting a master's, I think I was getting a little bit of loan. I was also getting paid to teach. So all my education was coming to fruition with $600 a month teaching fucking college classes. And so that's what that level of education gets you. And so then I go to Florida, and I'm so smart. I've invested so much in myself, over $100,000 in debt, invested so much in this intellect about some things that only a few people care about in the world, that I was able to get, I think it was about $2,000 a month was what I got paid in Florida for doing research. So for doing and teaching. So for being a graduate assistant, so that was my job. Like, this is my work. I went from, also when I was wrestling in college, I was teaching, coaching at camps in the summer. So I would earn whatever that would be, like $600 a week or something, for basically being on staff, on site the whole day, staying in the dorm rooms with the kids and fucking coaching them. And did that for however many weeks I could get booked over the summer. Hard work. Even in college, when I was selling weed, I started a lawn mowing business for myself for 2 years. Got my own mowers, got my own weed whackers, would fucking go door to door, went door to door, and fucking mowed lawns while I had a girlfriend or whatever. So that was my job. And then, I go to Florida, I'm getting paid $2K a month to do like research and publish papers and like just because you couldn't do it now. Only some people are interested in what I was doing, but most people were incapable of doing what I was doing because of the level of intelligence and awareness on the subject and the diligence to write and edit and, just that level. You needed some education to do it. And eventually I got into teaching yoga. Now, around that time, I had to pay for yoga teacher training. So I had been endowed with white privilege again, because my parents gave me some stocks for getting a bachelor's degree or master's degree, one of those things. They gave me some stocks that I wish they had just sold those to pay for my college in the first place, but whatever. Actually not, because here I am. So they gave that to me, whatever it was, like 30 grand. And it's like, whoa, they thought I was going to put a down payment for a house or something. No, I sold 5 grand for yoga teacher training. So then I've made way more than 5 grand teaching yoga. So that was a smart investment. Plus I love it. It got me deep in it. It got me connected with a lot of great yogis, whatever. The rest of that I used for travel to and from and paying for trainings with Arash Bazaar and Vince Kelvin, mostly towards Arash, but some of their all of their collaborations, but the money was less for that. The money was more for his solo events with Arash. And then I was spending the money I was earning too, because I was still earning $2K a month, finishing my graduate degree, earning a little extra, teaching like up to 8 to 10 yoga classes a week at some point. And so I graduate, I finish, and I decided not to go academia. I sold all my stuff that I had accrued, and I had 11 guitars at some point. They were very nice. I had a master king bed that was very nice, big TV, all that stuff. And so I go to India. So that, of course, takes money. But at this point, I'm like flat broke. I've maxed out all my cards. I've leveraged all my white privilege to be at 15 grand debt, credit cards or something. And I'm zeroed out. And I spent my last money on a ticket to India. And then I show up late to the airport and they won't let me in. And I end up having to buy another ticket. Long story short, I have to buy another ticket one way. So there's the last of my money. Now I have $300 while I'm in India for 3 months. And at some point I ended up asking my parents for a little bit more money, and they gave me like $300 so I could eat more, but I couldn't get a scooter or anything. I just walked everywhere. And so I come back and I start cold calling. Now, fortunately, all of my investing in IMC Nation made me good friends with Brian Casella. So Brian Casella housed me and would like buy food, and I would offer him a little bit of money sometimes when I had it, but he would never accept it, and he just paid for everything. So that was my sugar daddy. Shout out to Brian Casella. And not a sugar daddy, he's a fucking brother, because it'll come back to him tenfold. So, and then my parents would help me. I'd stay with them for a couple months. I stayed with my girlfriend in Florida for a couple months. And meanwhile, I'm calling and booking events, and I go and I make my money. I made like 12 grand the first year touring and teaching yoga. And I made 32 grand the next year and 32 grand again. But I was getting more, it was getting more fluid. I had the apprentices, that was my hustle. I was hustling with that. Meanwhile, I was also doing my silent flute, which was pulling in less. Sometimes I had big months that would even surpass my travel yoga. Sometimes it was really nice because my travel yoga would dry out. I didn't know how to keep my sales funnel filled so that it was a continuous stream. Because when I was traveling and teaching, I had less time to call and book events and do all the flyers and all the work myself, like just nonstop. And so it was nice to have that regular little bit of stream from the silent flute online yoga mentorship that would, help me out on those times of dry spells. But eventually I got the system down well enough, and I invested everything in training with Arash, that Arash appoints me some position to earn a little bit of money if I just collect some guys to do some stuff. And so I earn a little bit of extra doing that. I ended up getting to my events aren't really costing me money because I pay to go and I can make money while I'm there, and it kind of evens out. And then a big investment, 25 grand I got to do. And I don't have any money. I fully leveraged myself. I've managed to save up about 2 grand teaching all my yoga. And of course I had plans for that 2 grand, but then a 25K event happens. I can't not do it. I can't let someone else do it before me and I don't do it. So I have a relationship that she had some resources, and I had benefited her so greatly with all the teachings of Arash for 3 years that I compelled her that you must do this, or like, you don't support me. I need to go make it because you're holding me back. If you're not going to support me in this, I could definitely have more money on hand right now if I wasn't in this relationship. So just know that, and so she has to face that. And so she invested. And to this day, she thanks me that she got the chance to invest in me training, because now she's got me still, that means a lot. Even if we're not together, she's got access to me. And this is real value. I didn't burn the money or flush it down the toilet. I paid somebody that gave me some real value that you're getting to listen to right now. It's in what I'm saying. You can't say what I'm saying. Even if you had the same story, you wouldn't say it the same way. That's Miracle Prophet's gift. So I leverage the relationship, and that shows like a real application of the technology of what we're learning. The real leverage of the human for the betterment of themselves, of the family unit, of the relationship. Because what's she going to do with all that extra money? I'm going to do something that's going to benefit the relationship with that money. This is where the money should be going. And so then I get a more full position. My position gets more solidified. I get offered to do the same commission, but like really, really do that. And so now I have 3 businesses. I'm running my online yoga, my travel yoga, and this IMC business, and they're all earning about equal portions. So I'm invested in all 3, divided into all 3, working around the clock all the time. And fast forward, COVID hits, yoga business goes out the door, a little bit of online yoga, and really just focus on IMC business and pulling guys into this. Well, I practice yoga. I love yoga. So that's been the evolution of it. And then I just kept growing it, and I kept finding guys, and I kept pulling them in, and I kept building the system to nurture them. And with the emails and my notes, I just leveraged the skills that I had, that I knew what to do, because I don't have a business degree. I have 3 degrees in something else. I did wrestling, like didn't have to sell myself or sell some services of someone else or whatever. But it kept growing. That first month I earned like whatever, $4,000 or something. Last month I earned much more than that. And, now learning how to manage money. What do I do with my money? How to be legit with everything that I'm doing. And it's been just, and I'm 35 now, and it's that all the way from doing $1 a fucking week for emptying the garbage in my fucking parents' house. And, where's it going to be in the future? I don't know. I see guys that are also working some sales lists for me. I can get you to be getting in communication with those people and be pushing and developing the language to funnel those guys in, so that it further pushes me out of the lifestyle of always being behind a computer, always doing accounting, always texting and messaging with people. And maybe it's going to be a long time before that's out of the way, but I like messaging with people and having conversations and getting deeper in this stuff. So I'm living the life that I want. That doesn't mean I'm where I want to be, but I see that it's a step in the direction of where I want to be. And that's where I'm going. That's what I'm doing. So, I think that's what we all want. And it's not easy. And you may be older, you may be younger, you maybe have been on the path longer for shorter. But if you stick with it and you have mentor and you take your notes and you apply it, day in and day out, you make your wake up, you do your discipline. It's just a grind, and you learn to appreciate. You learn the technology of the mind, how to appreciate, how to be thankful, how to your mindset's very important. For the sponsorship this month, I'm going to give some bonus material from my Pyramid of Success event with Arash, and some old notes from Arash and Brian Casella business and sales. Because I want the guys that invest $2K that are coming, like Profit, the guys that are investing $2K to come are going to get higher business knowledge also. I just want to give bonuses, because even the guardians here, or the guys that, are coaches or whatever, like if they don't want to invest the 2K, they don't get the bonuses. Now, I only have so much bonus I can give, because the real value is Arash. That's why I'm able to do what I do, because it's not that I'm leveraging myself. I'm leveraging something else. It'd be like holding a nuclear warhead on your backpack, and you have a lot of leverage at the negotiation. You have dynamite strapped to you. You got a lot of negotiation. I got the power. And, that's what this is like. So incentivizing with my notes about things or lectures from my product. it is a Rosh lecture or whatever. It's very persuasive, but really it's the 2K investors for the sponsorship gets you the, IMC origins information. It's esoteric symbolism that's going to change you. And the people that are attending and they're around each other, they're going to feel much more bonded. And they'll have a secret, they'll have a conspiracy, and the information will be leaked out possibly through the grapevine or through podcasting or whatever. But I think there'll also be a non-disclosure that you'll have to sign. That'll be something to the effect of, you're not going to share this information. Even if you live with somebody who didn't do the event, you don't share it with them. And so that's very exciting. You know, that's what it was, that original Tabiat event that I got. I leveraged my relationship, 25 grand, 23 grand to do the event, and worked out a payment plan with the Rosh or whatever. 23 grand. So that was a mark, you know, that's something one of my housemates got a relationship and he leveraged it. So he's paying for sponsorship and he's coming. And that girl is more bonded to him. He's more bonded to this lifestyle. Everybody's more bonded. And it's not about using women for their money. It's about connecting with a woman. What is she using her money for? She living that independent life. We have a whole philosophy behind it. A lot of science, all the way down to the root core of existence and all the way back up again to modern day culture. And it makes sense throughout. You know, it's very thorough. So that's what this IMC Nation is a new Illuminati. It's a new breed. It's a new breed of man, new information, new ability to communicate. And that, you know, that age-old imagination that's been so covered over by a bunch of muck and culture and just programming and shit. We unleash that. We're philosophers, living philosophers. Okay, so that's the recording for this. I'll go back to teaching the apprentices, and that's what you all got to see of the mindset for today. Oh, it didn't click record. Okay, we'll click the link in the description so you sign up.